Good morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we discuss all things entrepreneurship and running. It is a brutally cold morning today. It's the feels like temperature is -5 degrees, so extreme winter conditions today, and I'll probably be slowing my words shortly, so not ideal running conditions. And it's Thursday Tales today, where we discuss past experiences in business, and today's topic is the power of assets and how they can save you. So as always, if you like this video, please give it a subscribe, and let's get started. So, the power of assets and how they can save you. Okay, so past experiences in business, well, there's been many failures that I've had over the years, but the one thing that has always been relatively consistent through all the wild and wacky business ideas I've tried and failed at has been my focus on growing my asset base. Now, if you've done wealth dynamics before, which is a personality profiling test for entrepreneurs that was done by Roger Hamilton, I think it's about £100 or so to do, but it's quite insightful to who you are, and it can really help if you understand you yourself as a business owner or an entrepreneur and the people you need around you to kind of fill in the voids. But I digress. But anyway, I did that test and I came out a lord. Now, a lord is basically a far left-hand side of the quadrant, and the left-hand side is the person who is very detail focused, very analytic, but also somebody who acquires assets and likes to accumulate wealth through assets, which is very much myself. And obviously it's been well documented my relatively large portfolio I've had for a number of years, and it's been, for all the pains and the tribulations that I've been through with that portfolio, you know, from the heights of earning just shy of 20 grand a month from it to the lows of losing 7 grand a month from it, and everything in between, you know, the personnel issues, the challenges, everything that comes with running a relatively large property portfolio. The best thing it's ever done for me is protected my personal livelihood. And what I mean by that is that depending on what you go into, you can do low risk stuff in entrepreneurship, but there'll probably be times in your life as an entrepreneur that you'll need to kind of grow. Well, there'll definitely be times you need to grow, but growth can be done in a number of different ways, and often you can fast track growth by raising capital. Okay, and raising capital usually either comes from investment from the owners or outside investment or loans. And you have to be very careful when you do this, because it's not your money and it has to be paid back. And if you ever go down this route and you're taking these finances out or investment from other people on, it's likely that you'll sign something which will be a personal guarantee, which basically is saying if you cannot afford to pay this back, then you know your personal assets could be taken control of and sold and disposed of to clear any outstanding debt. So please understand the ramifications of personal guarantees, how they work, and what happens if you can't fulfill your obligations as a guarantor. I've done another episode on this previously about being caught out on this from guaranteeing somebody else in the past, and I've also been caught out because I've also been caught out of this on the development block of flats that I've got that I'm currently refinancing at the moment. That was the catalyst for a partnership breakdown from my original business owner who I worked with building a portfolio with, and still some things that are kind of going on behind the scenes that need to be addressed, so it's not appropriate for me to go into huge detail about that partnership failure at this stage, but I will talk about it at some point in the future. But the key thing is this development went wrong, significantly wrong, so much so that it's in Well, I don't believe it is, but as far as a risk surveyor has valued it, it's in significant negative equity. I think I've explained that had valuations as high as 1.2 million for this block of flats and as low as 575,000 in the space of 3 years, which is crazy. How and the 575,000 valuation was when it was fully refurbished. It's a show home, and the 1.2 million was when it was the work was still being completed. So work that out. But anyway, as that block of flats is owned under company ownership, I had to sign a personal guarantee when I took out that finance, so that if the company folded for whatever reason, I'm backing that up, that the debt will be paid. That loan will be repaid either via sale of the asset or my personal assets. And ultimately, when you fall into negative equity and you refinance the existing lender out, and there's a shortfall, that's when the personal guarantees will be triggered. And one of two things will generally happen: is the actual asset that was originally financed, the block of flats, would be fire sold or sold off to recoup any equity that's in the property. But in this instance, when the block of flats are in negative equity, there's nothing there for the lender to get the deficit they're owed. So inevitably they'll come after you and your personal guarantee, or the other directors that have signed it as well. And if you don't have any assets, then your personal home and your personal stuff is at huge risk. And this is what I mean by the power of assets and how they can save you, because having a large portfolio with a best part of £500,000 deficit, I've got a significant amount of equity in the portfolio. I don't know the exact figure, I haven't looked at it for a few months, but it's probably somewhere in the echelon of about 4.5 million is in equity sitting in the portfolio. So because I've got that, I can put security up in terms of my assets to secure or crystallise that debt with the existing lender, which then secures them. They think, well, okay, they've got ways and means to pay this back, and then you can negotiate with the lender on how you're going to retrieve those funds and what timeline you're going to take. And that's ultimately where I am at the moment with the lender. So this is an experience which is, if I didn't have a big asset base behind me, I'd potentially be wiped out because my home would be at massive risk. So that's why the power of assets is so important. And let me just define an asset in simple terms. An asset is something that will make you money or retain its value that you hold over the course of time. So it might be something that, like property, that goes up in value generally over the course of time. It might be paying you via rental income, so it's an asset because it's paying you there. Whereas a car, for example, would be a liability because it loses money. So it goes down in value the longer you hold it, and it costs you money to run it. So it's costing you money. So assets make you money, liabilities cost you money. So assets can be things like stocks and shares, other forms of investment bonds, can be businesses that obviously can make money and retain value, and property real estate is another big one. So have a think about this and think about how you can start building your asset base. Or if you don't have an asset base, you will need to take a very much a safer route to growing your business. Never ever sign a personal guarantee if you don't have assets to protect you. That would be the fundamental lesson to be learned here. Because the other time that you may need assets is when you're needing to raise money, when some things are going wrong in your business, and your assets can be a way to get secured debt to give you that kind of lifeline. If you don't have any assets, raising money can be really challenging without putting up personal risk. And unfortunately, I've had several experiences in my relatively short business career where significant chunks of money have needed to be raised for varying reasons, some to pay off debt, some to grow opportunities. And if you don't have assets, your flexibility of attaining or obtaining funding in a risk acceptable manner is very, very challenging. So hopefully this has helped, and there's some pretty key lessons here. So if I was going to summarise this episode, difference between assets and liabilities are assets will make you money or retain value over the course of time, whereas liabilities will lose money or reduce in value over the course of time. And understand that, and by growing your asset base, you're growing your overarching net worth or wealth, and they also act like extra lives. If stuff goes wrong and you're a guarantee in a business, or a business goes wrong and you're going to owe money, people will come for your personal possessions, i.e. your home and anything you own on a personal capacity, unless you have assets that can kind of protect you, if that's the way you've kind of gone about things. So really, really important to understand that. Hopefully this has been useful. As always, if you've got any questions on this, please drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll still reply, but I'll possibly record a vlog episode and tag you in. If this isn't for you, or it's irrelevant, no worries, just unfollow and it'll stop cluttering up your personal feeds, social feeds. But you don't have to unfriend me, because you can just unfollow and it'll stop cluttering up your social feeds. But before you do that, please make sure you subscribe to the Runpreneur YouTube channel, whereby I do a different topic on each day of the week. So if today's topic is irrelevant to you, it may be that topics I cover on other days are certainly more relevant. So please check out that. Also, make sure you check out the Facebook Runpreneur community group, whereby I host all my free resources that go with the vlog. The first one being my 70-step checklist to repurposing, reformatting and optimising your content across all social platforms. So if you want to be omnipresent on social media, get more content out there on a regular basis, then check out that checklist. Is completely free. Hopefully it will give you some stepping stones and some advice on how to do so. So that's it for me today. As always, the Runpreneur vlog was set up to help entrepreneurs and business owners overcome the emotions of stress, anxiety and overwhelm by using exercise, or in my case running, as a release valve to kind of relieve those pressures, relieve the stress, the anxiety, get clarity, focus, take stock and thrive under these pressures that every single entrepreneur, business owner experiences. It's often the difference between success and failure for how well that entrepreneur deals with these emotions. The ones that do have their release valves get perspective on the situations, keep clarity and focus, thrive and go on to bigger and better things. The ones that don't, and bury their heads in the sand, struggle with entrepreneurial pride, they don't talk, and they almost freeze. The stress just builds up and builds up and builds up as pressure, and then something breaks. And unfortunately, that's usually either the entrepreneur has a breakdown or the business breaks down. And either or is often terminal to the likelihood of the business lasting the test of time. Now, I've been there. I've lost multiple businesses because of this. I've lost multiple business partnerships because of this. I've almost been bankrupt because of this. So I've got experience in the bad times, but I finally feel that now I have this running routine and this way to clear my mind, to relieve the pressures and stresses that go on with day-to-day entrepreneurial life. And as a result, I've got more on now than I've ever had. I don't feel hugely stressed. I feel in control, and I like to feel that I'm thriving. So my pledge to you is that if you are one of these entrepreneurs that are struggling with this stuff, and you feel you've got nowhere to turn, you're burying your head in the sand, drop me a message. Okay, we'll arrange a call. I'll see if I can help you. There's no catch here. I'm not going to be selling you anything or anything. All I want to do is try and help you. And I've had a few entrepreneurs take me up on this already, and hopefully we've put some steps in place to help them, get them back onto the right path on their journey. And like I say, I always said that if this vlog just helps just one entrepreneur or saves one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. So that's it for me today. As always, I'll end with, if you like this video, please give it a like, comment and a subscribe. If you want to see more relevant content or similar content, please check out the playlist link below. And all that's left to say is stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.